Hello, my marvellous sausages. I've got even more really useful hints and tips about Borderlands 4, so let's just get straight into it. And I want to start off by coming here to Moxies Bar. Now then, Moxies Bar, this becomes unlocked when you've done a particular mission. And the mission is called Go to the Bar. It's in the second area that you get to, the Carcadia Burns area. That's this area up here, look. And it's located just here. There we are. You can see it there once you unlock it there. Moxie's Bottoms Up, it's called. Now, when you come to Moxie's Bar, she's got this tip jar on the counter. And you can see here, you can either stick in $1,000 per tip or $100 per tip. Now, you're not just giving her money for no reason at all, because she's got 2 legendary weapons that she can give to you that will trigger once you give. I don't think it's a particular amount of money. It seems to be random. Okay, so I started off doing the $1,000 one. It's called a big old tip. And for that, you get this weapon. It's called the Cold Shoulder. It's an assault rifle. It's legendary, of course. It's cryo as well, okay? And it's got this. Oh, it's so hard for me to go on this. It's called Iced Out. Basically, it's got homing bullets on it as well. It's very, very good. It's quite nice. It's got shed loads of cryo that comes with it. 108% cryo efficiency. So it's great for damaging armor, basically. And it does also come with a Hyperion License Shield, zoom to enable gun shields as well. So that's pretty cool. Now, you get that one, or variations of it, when you donate $1,000. Now then, as well, look, you can donate $100. I haven't managed to get the second gun yet because I'm just keeping on trying. And I'm not getting bugger all at all. It's very annoying. Look, because you know when you've got the gun to pop up, you get like all hearts that appear over the jar. And then Moxie brings you the gun herself, which I think is pretty cool. So I do quite like that. But the 100 quidders, it just seems to be taking forever. Now, the weapon is called the Sweet Embrace. It's a shotgun. I haven't used it, but apparently it fires 4 projectiles in a square pattern. It's got a very wide spread, so it's not particularly good for small targets, but it can drop with any element affinity. So, there's 2 nice ways to get legendary weapons there. Good fun, that, as well. Expensive, mind, but there we are, it's Moxie. Now, I don't know if you realise, but you can fish here in Borderlands, and it's actually really good fun, and there's a little bit of skill and a trick to it as well, to get some stuff out of these rivers, because most of the time, if you time it badly, all you're going to do is get junk, which is cans and things like that. However, you can pull out weapons, you can even pull out legendaries from fishing. It's a great, well, it's a nice little distracting way to do a bit of farming and to get some weapons, to get cash and all that kind of stuff, and maybe even some good weapons out of the deal as well. So the way to do it, right, is now, for example, I'm just sitting there. Now, did you see that little twiddle on the icon there? That is the best time to cast, okay? And so you've got to slap your button as soon as you see that, and that way then you'll pull out 1 or maybe multiple weapons from the drink. If you mistime it, you'll only end up getting some junk, okay? So, oh, bugger, I missed it again because I'm talking. But let's wait now. Let's wait. Oh, there we go. Did I get it? No, I mistimed. Oh, no, I did get it. Oh, there we are. Oh, there we are. I got a shit. Now, that was quite cool. And now I think I've bloody lost it. Have I? Can I walk in to get it? Is it still there? So they do. Oh, look, I've chucked me thing into the water. Yeah, I lost that one. Look. Wiggle that thing. I'm being too slow. There we go. There we are. Oh, look. We've had a couple of greens coming out there. We had a blue. So you've got to be quick to whip out the things that you want as well. Do you know what I mean? Now, they do, if you pull them to the shore, they do stay around on the shore, but it seems that if they drop back in the water and you don't grab them quick enough, they disappear. Come on. Wiggle and... Oh! Right. Now, what happened there? That was... Is it still here? Oh, it's gone. But that one's still there, though, isn't it? See, there's that one. Now then, that legendary thing that you saw and I completely missed there, which is very irritating, is a legendary grenade called Slippy or Flippy or some bloody thing. It's an amazing grenade. Trouble is, at the moment, it's bugged. It's not bugged, but it's causing icons on the screen to disappear. Let me see if I can grab it again, look, because I don't care now. Let's keep on going. If you want to know where I am at the moment, I am here, all up the river. It's a big body of water in it. So yeah, I'm all up the river there. Oh, there we go. Look, oh my god, I've traced the river up and there's shed loads more. Yeah, so following a river is the best way to do this. Let's see if we can get something interesting. What was that? Oh, there's one! Yes! Right, okay, I've got it. I think I'm full, actually. Oh, no, I can take it. There we are. Lovely. Okay, so what that was, I just picked up there. If I go to my inventory and come here to your ordnance, right, that's it. That's a vampiric slippy, okay? Swordfish deals melee damage on detonation. It's fantastic. It's a right killer. And I've got this at level 27 now, because that's obviously it comes in at the level that you're at. There is a problem with this, and I'm going to have a problem with this now, is that you can see, look, the icon there has disappeared. And then this then affects every icon in your inventory. So then what starts to happen is all the other little icons disappear as well, like that one. So, and that bug endures while you've got it in your backpack. Now then, people have said to sell it or to drop it, but it's a really cool item to keep, which is a shame. So you can either wait for them to patch it out, but we don't know when that's going to be, or we can see what happens if we stick it in our bank and then restart the game, because that's what you have to do after you've dropped it or sold it. You need to restart the game, come back out and come back in again, and all your icons should have returned. So if you're encountering that particular bug, that's why. It's because you've got this fish in your icon in your backpack. I've also heard rumors that there's some other weapons that cause this to happen. Let us know in the comments if you've picked up a weapon which is causing this to happen for you. Now, as you start getting used to the menus, this challenges page is something you need to come and have a little look at, because you can get some pretty cool stuff from doing this. These are all related to things that you can do out in the world, killing enemies, collecting loot and all that kind of thing, using certain weapons a certain amount of time. So for example, here, look, in combat here, the Bloody Tide, I've got to kill 4,000 enemies. I'm going to get 2 paint jobs for my Echo 4. That's quite nice. So you might have something that you particularly like doing. For me, at the moment, I just want to unlock Digi-Runners and Digi-Runner paint jobs. So I think the Digi-Runner is really cool. And I found one here in the world, in the activities there, Scram Bag. Look, I've got to unlock all safe houses, which is going to take some time, I can imagine. But there we go. There's a Digi-Runner paint job in there. So that is quite nice to come in here and have a little look and see what you're close to doing and getting them unlocked. And it does seem to be mainly cosmetic related to all these collectibles here in loot there as well. What have we got here? What have we here? Yeah, look, it's cosmetics there again. So it looks like an accessory for my droid hat type thing, and also a paint job for my Digi-Runner. So yes, these challenges are a great way to start unlocking all the stuff to make you look a little bit more sexy. Now, your armor at the bottom of your inventory screen is well worth taking a look at, because there's a few things you might not know about it. First of all, we've got different items. You've got the experimental class items here. So these are class specific. And I found as well, I don't know if you found this, but it tends to drop more for other classes than your own. Let me know if you found that, because I haven't had many drop for Harlow at the moment. But anyway, because if I go into look, that's the only one I've got. So yeah, I've got to keep an eye out for that. But then you've got across here, you've got an armor shield, and then you finally got an enhancement. Now, we take a look here at my armor shield. First of all, when you look at this baby, you can see the information it gives you, which is total capacity. It's like its own little health bar. That drops first before your health drops. Then you've got shield segments or armor segments. Now, what's good about these is that when these disappear, they usually trigger some kind of an effect. That's particularly, you can see that a lot more in some of the legendary ones. Like, for example, I've got one here called, hang on a minute, let me have a quick get to it. Hang on, where are you? Here, which is called the Onion, yeah? So on segment break, it grants immunity to damage for 2 seconds. Mini Nova on armor segment break triggers a Nova that deals 181 damage. So those armor segment breaks are actually integral to unleashing general effects. But what you can see here with this particular armor piece, look, is this bit at the bottom, and these means it's part of a set. Okay, so when you get a set with 3 of the rubber band mans on it, you can see I've got this one in here, and it's going to give me damage reduction minus 5%. Really useful. And I just want to point out these armor bonuses are on the grenade and your armor. Basically, the 5 that are on the bottom there, your ordnance, your grenade, and those 3 upgrades along the bottom. I'm going to get life steals increased by 5%. And then the third one is bonuses granted by this firmware are doubled. So that's going to go to minus 10% and plus 5% for the life steal. And that's just one of them here, okay? Because there's lots of different ones have these armor set bonuses. You can see on the icon, it's got like a little, it almost looks like a Wi-Fi signal. That's the rubber band man one. Now, I've just completed the oppressor boss battle here, which I'm currently farming to see if I can get some legendary weapons. And once you beat the oppressor, you can come here to open up a chest as well. Now, when you look on the floor, right, at all the stuff that drops, you know, they've got these long lines showing you their rarity, really. But some of them, they've got the long lines, but they've also got like that twinkly sort of circuit board looking effect. Anyway, you can see, look, it's distinct from those there. It's got that added effect. That means that that is part of a set. So they're well worth picking up because you don't know what you're going to be using at some point. This is an Exo Soldier class mod, so it's for Rafa. So this is no good for me now because I'm playing Harlow. But what I would do is I'd take that and then I'd stick it in the bank, because the bank itself is like a vault in Destiny for all of your Vault Hunters. I'll show that to you now so you can see it working. So here it is. Here's that mod. I've just picked it up. And indeed, it's part of a set. The set is called Airstrike. And let's have a little look at Airstrike. Splash radius is increased by 20%. And splash damage is increased by 20%. And on kill, drop a missile strike on nearby enemies. That looks like a really cool one to have, but they're just for Rafa. So what I need to do is go to this here, and then I need to mark that to go to the bank. So I'm pressing X to mark it, and then I bank it. And then at the bottom it says, I tap my left stick to send items to bank. So I'm going to do that now. Bang. And then when I do my Rafa build, which I'm really looking forward to, I've got that there already. So it's well worth keeping that in mind, sending things to banks if they're part of a set, because you never know when you're going to get them to drop. Now here's something that took me a little bit of a while to understand, is there's a jumping dash mechanic, okay? So you can jump in the air, and then you can tap dash and boost forward. And then you can see in the center of the screen, look, you've kind of got like a stamina bar, which says how many of those you can use. So it seems to be just 2 of those, so I can jump and boost, right? That's quite nice. But what else you can do is you can jump, boost, and then jump again, and then that'll give you an extra boost on the end of the dash, which is quite nifty. So if I go like this, let me just do a little one here. So I'll go jump, boost, jump. There, so that gives you a third thing, and you can do that in any direction, look, which is quite nice, yeah? So it's actually pretty cool for doing movement, to do a jump, boost, jump, and get used to doing that to get yourself that extra bit of distance there. And what you can also do as well is you can finish up with the ground pound attack, because if you don't know, you know, I didn't know this, I only found out in a mission. You've got a ground pound, so let me just jump once, twice, then hold down and boom, right? You've got a ground pound there, which inflicts damage on gits. But you can actually stick that on the end of our jump, dash, jump. Okay, so if I go like this, I go jump, dash, jump, ground pound. So you can do it in the direction you're going forward. Jump, dash, jump, ground pound. Boom, lovely. Okay, that's cool. And don't forget as well, you've got a hover in this that you pick up. So you can do the jump, dash, jump, and then hold the hover and get a bit more distance. Because this is one of the things I found in Borderlands. I feel like I'm not getting out of the way of attacks quick enough, and that really does help. And remember, you can do it in all of the directions as well. So you can do it forwards, like that. You can do it back, which is really useful when you've got an enemy coming at you. You go back, and jump again. Give you a nice bit of distance, particularly if you're using, which is my favourite kind of weapon, the ordnance weapons here, because I can just jump forward and kick his face in, and then I go, I want to get out of here, jump back, jump, and away to go, you know? So it's a very useful way to get yourself out of trouble, and you're going to find that particularly useful in boss matches, boss battles, and the like. Yeah, excellent. So don't forget to try that out. Another bit of a traversal tip for you, because I was finding, you know, when you stick onto these grapple points like this, the camera kind of focuses on that grapple point. Okay, so watch now. It'll look down like that, look, whenever you're doing a grapple. So that can sometimes throw you off as to where you, do you know what I mean? To where you're going, like I just smacked head first into the wall there, which is very, very irritating. However, there is a setting that you can change. If you come in here to accessibility, look, and then you come down the bottom, you've got a grapple view tilt. So what'll happen is that the view will tilt down to look towards the destination while traveling to a grapple point. So if you turn that off, what we're going to find now is that you're going to keep on looking directly forwards when you do your grapple. I've lost my grapple points down here somewhere. So it should just keep on. There we are, look. So you can see where you're going and you can move your head around. So the camera's not being forced by anything. It's in the natural direction that you were looking, even though I can't do bugger all with that one there. You can see what I mean. It was snapping my head down. So that's pretty useful, that one. And I've kept that off for a little while now, and I do prefer it. And while we're here in this accessibility menu, there's a couple of other things you might want to consider changing. You've got the screen shake there. I'm gonna cut that down quite a bit. I'll do it to about 50%, something like that, because you've got the screen shake when you're having your face kicked in and all that, so it can be a little bit distracting. I don't mind that too much of it, just not loads of it. And it's also got camera head bob in there as well, you know, the way your head bobs when you run. So you might want to reduce that a little bit if that gets on your nerves. Apparently it's a motion sickness thing, but just to let you know, these controls are in here to adjust it, yes. Right, you know you've got this directional finder thing where you tap up on the D-pad, look, and it'll show you where you want to go to your next waypoint. Either way, you've stuck a pin or either towards your next mission goal. And the difference between them, you've got a blue one which follows a pin or a secondary objective, and a yellow one which kind of follows your main mission. That would be his Vile Sanctum there. But I'm not doing that at the moment. But this line disappears over time. Look, you can see it's fading there, it's fading there, it's fading there, and then it'll just disappear. Now, when you're on your little speeder bike type thing, following that line can be a little bit irritating because it fades and fades and fades. However, you can adjust the duration that this line stays active, okay? So if you come here into your menu and you go to options, and then we've got the echolocation path visibility. Now, I've got that on long, okay, which is what I thought would be the best thing to put it on initially. However, I'm not too sure now because it stays active, but it fades sometimes, or if it does fade, to kind of almost imperceptibility when you're going really, really fast. And it can be really difficult to follow it sometimes. And because it's on for a long amount of time, part of that time is that you can't see it. So I can't recall it or reactivate it, look. It's just faded down now, so it's come back up again. But if I try to call it back in again, if I can get lost and spun around and I don't know which way to go, I can't call it because the long is kind of like the cooldown timer. But, so if you want to do that, that's fair enough. However, I've actually found that if you go to options and change it to short, that gives you a brighter burst of where it is. It disappears quicker, and then you can just call it up again. However, you are pressing that button a bit more. Let me go up the road here now, and I'll show you. So we just want to go up here, look, and then if I go, there we are, it's going to spin me around there, and we can see it's taking me back over that way there, okay? So it won't take long to disappear. There we are, nearly gone, nearly gone. And then all you got to do is go blink and do it again. Yeah, but with the long one, you've got to wait at least 20-30 seconds before you can call it up again. Now, I know that was a little bit of a lengthy explanation for that, but I think, to be honest, the shorter one is better, because if you're like me, you're always wondering where the bloody hell to go. Look at that bloke there with a massive mine on his head. Now, one of my favourite aspects of Borderlands 4 actually is farming bosses, right? Because of the weapons that they drop. They can drop legendary weapons. Now, this particular boss that I'm farming is called the Oppressor. Now, once you've completed the main story mission, A Lot to Process, that is when this boss unlocks for you to refarm by coming to the Moxies big encore machine to do it. So all I would do is, once you see it appear down here, set the pin, follow your way in, and then you're going to end up in this room here, okay? Now, the boss fight is interesting because he's an aerial boss. And I found, I'm using Harlow at the moment, and the little setup that I've got, it seems to be working pretty well for speed. But let me show you. So it's going to cost me 16 grand to kick the fight off. Now, the fight itself, it's hit and miss, but it's generally pretty quick. It's almost as fast as Splash Zone. At this kind of level. So you can see it coming in there. Now, he does the strafing bombing runs. Look, okay, he drops bombs, which leave, like, corrosive or fire stuff everywhere. What I've found sometimes is it can get locked into this strafing pattern. So to bring him out of the strafing pattern, whether this is accurate or not, I'm not entirely sure, but if I shoot him with something long range, he's going to come in and start shooting me there. So that's another one of his attacks. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to use now my my big Moxie super doodah like this and explode that. That takes off quite a lot of shields there. I'm using my ordnance as well. I love this. He's got little Merv rockets. Look at the amount of health it takes off him. It's ridiculous, okay? And then, finally, I've got my Burt's Bees, and I'm switching to Zip rockets, and they probably actually will finish him off. Look, bang, gone. So, at the moment, right, this is pretty easy. And, of course, you do have a chance for it to drop legendary weapons. Now, I've already had one legendary drop doing this. I always get fooled by the armor perks. I'll show you that in a minute. But, of course, what you need to do whenever you're farming bosses, once all the loot is dropped, go and pick up as much as you can, particularly if it's stuff that you don't want or you don't really care for at the moment. Of course, the legendaries will give you more money because this does cost every time you do it. So, I don't mind the cost. It's absolutely fine. So, I'm just going to pick up a bit of crap now, and then I'm going to flog that off at the junk machine. Then once you've had your fill, don't forget, before you start the fight again, come over here to this chest. It can give you some good stuff. I've never had any legendaries from this at all, mind. But yes, there we go. So pick up as much of this stuff as well, which is nice to do. Then once you've got your fill, and let me just grab this and that there, wherever fill is, I'm full. Then you need to use this to get back up to the machine at the top. Come here, sell your swag, and then rinse and repeat. Let's start again, and we've got another battle to do there. So yeah, make sure as well, because the barrages that it hits you with are pretty hard sometimes. So you do get a few gits running around the arena. So make sure you keep a couple of alive so that you can get a second chance, or second wind rather, to pull you out of the stuck in case you get killed in a barrage. Oh, he's already shooting me. Look, I'm in with my super again. Yes, lovely. There you go. Some of this then. Look how great that is on him. It's quite slow. He's dead already! Well, what's happened there is that I was debuffing him, really, with my super, and then killing him with that. So, literally, look how fast that's taken in. So, yeah, he's getting debuffed, he is. That's why he's dying so quickly, and then my hits from my rocket are just utterly trashing him. If you want to have a little look at what I've got here, that's what I'm using here. It's called the Impossible Hail Spike. Merv spawns 3 Merv orbs on explosion, and it's got a 2-shot fire, 2 projectiles at a time. It's just amazing. It's only level 22. I'm level 27, and it's so useful in this battle. And if you are playing Harlow, what I've got here for my my skills, let's have a little look at my skills. I've built into this one called the Chroma Accelerator. I've got the Neutron Capture, all damage Harlow's unstable energy pocket deals to enemies is stored, and whenever it explodes, a portion of that stored damage is transferred to Harlow's gun. So that's what's happening here, is that I'm hitting it with the super, the damage is transferred to my gun that I've got that I'm using, and then it's delivering that damage in the Merv there as well. So that's what's happening there, and quite frankly, it's absolutely unbelievable. There we are. I'm gonna pop it again. I just can't get over this. Did he have him there? Yeah, swap to that. And there we are. You can see he's debuffed, and it'll store some of the damage. Look at that. It's dead again. I actually can't quite believe it. There we are. That's brilliant, eh? Good stuff. So one of the legendaries you can get from the Oppressor battle is this. It's called the Asher's Rise. It's a sniper rifle. This one's got a slow burn is the legendary perk. Critical hits apply stasis damage. Effects rather, and instead of increasing impact damage. You can also switch between 2 elements. These can change depending on what you get as well. This one's got radiation and incendiary, which is nice. And I've also got Jacob's license accessory on there as well. I did have 2 drop. I've got another one drop here somewhere. Where is it? There it is there, look. So that's got a much lower DPS, but it's got the Ripper license magazine. This gun charges before firing on full auto, which I'm not too particularly keen on, but it does have a higher damage for that one. But anyway, it's actually pretty nifty to use, and it's very fast. I'm always out on the lookout for a nice new sniper. Now, the other gun I wanted was this one, and it's dropped for me, lovely, from the Oppressor, the Ritualized Streamer Heavy Weapon Ordnance. This is a very specific kind of heavy weapon, right? It's got a delegation on it, launches stationary projectiles that fire a beam forward. So it's kind of like... it sort of reminds me of the end of Guardians of the Galaxy, really, when they all shoot things together. So I've got it on here. Ow! I'm probably going to die now before it comes on. Hang on a second. Right, here we go. I've got it up here now. So what it does is fire these projectiles, and they stay in one place. Let's see if I can just give him a bit of a kick in here. There we are. Is that all pointing at him? See that? Look! Those solid beams just cut straight through him. So, for mobile targets, it's crap. But... oh my god, look at him up there. This Rager Hothead. But for bosses, particularly bosses who kind of stay in the center of the arena, that is going to be an absolute ass kicker. And if you kind of use it in tandem, well, I'm only been playing Harlow, but if you use it in tandem with Harlow's big doodah, you know, the big shooty ball thing like that, that'll debuff them, and then you'll store some damage to use in your weapon. Sorry, Roger. Look at that. Look, it stored the damage and killed it. That's just fantastic. So there we go. Oh yes, what am I talking about? There is one other weapon, and I haven't had it to drop yet. And the final thing that drops, and I haven't had this to drop yet, is called the Large Blood Analyzer. So it's a rep kit, and I don't have a legendary rep kit, so I might actually continue farming to see if I can get this. But the Blood Analyzer, it's got healing over time. It's got an initial boost of healing as well. Plus, it's got something called an immunity shot, which is its legendary trait. It grants you immunity for 7 seconds from the elemental damage that you just took. Okay, so that's pretty cool. That means it's immunity from probably whatever's attacking you. So that could be a very nice one to grab, although I don't have it yet. Probably know about Second Wind. Just as you die, if you kill something like this, you will just pop back alive again. Let's hang on, let me do it before my fight for your life runs out. Bang, there we go, I get back up. Now what that does is that refreshes your rep kit. So if you're running out of health injections, it'll refresh that. And it'll also refresh a portion of your shield. I don't think it does it to the full amount, but it does give you a bit of a refresh there as well. So there we are. Let me get a shield kicked in a little bit. My health is gone. Look, one more bang. I should be at it. There we are. Good. And now let's kill him, because it's nice and easy to do so. I love my Burt's Bees. There we are. He's killed again. Look, so there we go. My shield actually did recharge, which is quite cool. And there is my my health as well. So if you do get in the shtuck, it's pretty good, actually, as long as you've got people around you so you can kill them, to get and you have some of your stuff recharged. Hang on. Kick me face in. Go on. There we are. He's going to kick me face in. Dead again. Look. There we are. Cool. And let's kill him. There we are. Excellent. We're back to full shield again. So yes, it does do full shield, and it gives you my health recharge too. That's lovely. So it's not as bad of a thing as you might think, and it might give you a chance to get out of some stucky situations. So there we go, some more useful Borderlands 4 tips there. I'm thoroughly enjoying the game. Let me know in the comments if you've got any other tips or any amendments to what I've got in my video here, because it's all new to me as well, and I'm really enjoying it. And don't forget, if you do like the video, and you've got the function to be able to do this, because not everybody has got this, but there's a new hype thing on YouTube where you can hype videos up. It's along the bottom there, and it just depends if it's been enabled on your account or not. It's not actually enabled on my personal account yet, so I can't hype other people. But if you do see it at the bottom of this video, and you did enjoy the video, a hype will really help me out, because apparently it pushes it up further out there so people can, well, can give my video a bit more exposure. Ooh, there we are then. That's fantastic, folks. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall speak to you all again very soon. Sausage, hurt.